You're going. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Erickson Brothers Podcast, where we talk about the questions we don't know the answers to and the possible returns of life's investments. So, back episode 13, I believe.
13, yeah.
13, lucky number 13. And here it's another week in New York City and another week in San Diego, California. Jeff, how are you?
Good, man. Everything's going really well. Really productive weekend. Uh, yeah, I'm just fired up for this week ahead. I'm going to
Good.
Texas on Tuesday.
Oh wow.
Um, First time I've ever been to Texas.
Why are you going to Texas?
I'll see if the rumors are true, if everything is bigger in Texas. I don't know. I like bigger things, so I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good.
Uh, Are you going for work?
No, I'm going with Grandpa.
What?
Yeah, yeah. So
You're
Grandpa,
golfing? What are you doing?
so Grandpa's sister is is not doing hot, not doing too well. And her
He's 100.
ETA to heaven is approaching.
Oh.
And Grandpa wants to see his sister before she passes away. But he
Mhm.
didn't want to travel alone because he is 96.
Uh-huh.
Um, and we were talking about it when we were golfing, and um, he was like, "Yeah, I want to go see her, but I don't want to travel alone." And like Mona can't go, which is his girlfriend. I was like, "If you want me to escort you, I'll be happy to go." And he said that would be awesome. Like, would really appreciate that. So we booked it last week, and I booked in my calendar, taking Tuesday and Wednesday off. It'll be a short trip. We're only going to be there for about 24 hours, but yeah, it'll be good.
Wow. So, and are you staying at Betty's house?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But they got a pool, which will be nice. I'll bring my swimming suit, and hopefully that'll be good.
Nice. I think, and where in Texas is it? Dallas, right?
Yeah, like Dallas suburbs.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think both my buddies that grew up there are no longer there, so I don't know anybody. But
Yeah, I don't know a soul. But anyway, jumping into the topics we got today surrounding our focus of um, faith, family, fitness, and finances. I want to start off with topic number one. And I'm going to start off by sharing my screen.
okay.
So this is a Whoop data, and this is heart rate variability
Yeah,
over the 6 month period. So this is what we're looking at, everyone. And Whoop is a wearable tracker. Matt, you got your Whoop on?
I do. Mine is fresh.
Okay, that's nice. I'm repping Matt's band. He got me one of the new Pro Knits for Christmas, so repping that. But I want to bring up this because it's super fascinating, and I was diving into it earlier today, and everyone can appreciate my lovely profile photo.
Yes, not
Uh,
unlike my lovely profile photo.
yes, but quick overview. Had a pretty high strain day, pretty bad recovery. Only had 3 drinks last night. Went out for one of my friend's birthday. Only had 3 drinks and completely terrible recovery. But what we're looking at here is heart rate variability. And what heart rate variability is an indication of basically how well your fitness is in
Mhm.
comparison to yourself and in comparison to other people. So usually there's direct correlation between heart rate variability and how well your fitness is improving.
Yep.
Right? Matt, how would you describe heart rate variability?
Yes, qualitatively, that is what it is. Quantitatively, heart rate variability is the variance you have between heart rates. So, for example, if you're just hanging out, sitting down, your heart rate is probably around 60. Your heart rate doesn't beat exactly every 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. It actually there's actually some variance to each two heart rates. So one beat might be zero point 0.9, another one 1.1, 0.95, 1.05. And the higher heart rate variability you have, the higher range, the greater fluctuation you have between your heart rates. So not all 60 beats per minute are the same. Not all 70 beats per minute are the same. Not all 40 beats per minute are the same. It's a big metric is variance. And the thinking behind that is that when you are recovered relative to yourself and potentially your peers, your body's doing well and your heart doesn't need to work as hard to beat. So that's what leads to the variance. When you're working out and your heart rate is higher, there will be less variance. And when you're sick, when you've been drinking, if you potentially have some people, if they have dairy, they just can't breathe as well. So negatively impact your health in any way, your heart rate variability is going to go down. A lot of times we see high endurance athletes and people who are fit have very high heart rate variabilities, and over time heart rate variability goes down. But at the end of the day, what you want to pay attention to is your heart rate variability relative to your average heart rate variability. And
so what we're looking at here, October of last year, October through November and the first part of December, that was when I did 75 hard. And my heart rate variability averaged like 150 to 170 with a high of 210.
Go to a year, see what it says. Oh, you can't go to a year.
I was trying to back it up. If you have any ideas of how to back it up.
Can you scroll on?
I think this would
Wait,
help.
go to that same chart. Is there a way you can like click and drag? No, oh, that was a specific night. But uh
Oh,
oh,
okay, this backed it up. Wow. This backed
oh
it
yeah,
up.
because that's 6 months to the date you clicked. So yeah, you have 75 hard right in that um September to November range.
Right. So the interesting thing, and something I wanted to point out, is my recovery during this time. My recovery during this period was lower than it typically is. However, my heart rate variability was much higher than it typically is. And if we went to the most recent 6 months, I want to show you here. The most recent 6 months, I have toned back my working out pretty significantly, all the way to the point of the last couple weeks, to where it has been a lot of my energy and focus has been surrounded around working, like putting hours in at the office, and I haven't been as consistent with working out, right? And you can see in the last 6 months there's been a dramatic change in my heart rate variability to where I'm almost down to below 100.
Wow.
Like really, really dramatic. And I'm like, holy shit, like do I need to turn back on 75 hard? Because if heart rate variability is an indication of how well, like how healthy you are and how well you're able to recover from stuff, like I mean, we wear a whoop for a reason, you know.
Yeah, we'll go to sleep percentage.
uh Sleep percentage, 6 months. Can't go 6 months. Can't back it up.
Interesting. We'll try resting heart rate.
Back to recovery, resting heart rate.
Yeah, so it's going up. So your recoveries, you're just less healthy.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's not like super surprising, but it is interesting that like I am seeing a downward trend in my heart rate variability as I've like cut back on how consistent my workouts have been.
Wow.
And it is interesting because
That's wild.
it's like not even like a little different. It's like almost like 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, topic number one.
Wow. That's well, I don't think you need to do 75 hard, but I think you got to work out.
Yeah, and I still look good. Like I look at myself in the mirror, and like obviously I have a biased opinion, but like I'm still fit. Like I'm still pretty cut for the most part. Um, my weight hasn't fluctuated too much, but I mean, like my heart isn't performing nearly where it needs to be, or where my optimal level is. So, um, yeah, I mean, what's the point of wearing a Whoop if you don't look into the data?
Yeah, wow. That's I'm just trying to think. Like, I mean, that both of those numbers are a lot, and you're probably sleeping the same amount. There's no
Right.
maybe
Well, so
maybe
I naturally assumed during 75 hard, I was like, man, this isn't healthy for me because my average recovery is lower because I would have to work out when I got home from the office, and then my sleep, like I wouldn't get into deep sleep as fast because I'm coming off of a nighttime workout. And I'm like, this isn't sustainable because I can't get into deep sleep. Therefore, I'm not able to recover. Therefore, I'm not going to have as much energy. But like, really, you got to look at other factors and other variables that are at play.
no, but you need to look at the recovery percentage, like because that's the all-encompassing metric between sleep consistency, heart rate variability, the amount of sleep you're getting, and it's not 75 hard or not working out. Like I think that the valuable conclusion is that you just need to work out a little bit because you've done both. And
Mm.
there you definitely need to find that balance of working out once a day, once every 2 days, and seeing how that responds. But I don't think you need to do all or nothing by
Yeah,
any means.
yeah. I mean, I did. It was like a spot check, where like you just check yourself. Um, and I was
Mhm.
like, dang, like I got to get my shit together. Because like I was like 200 heart rate variability. That's like pushing Olympic numbers. I've looked it up. It's like in the top 1%. Um,
And that's
like
what you're at.
that's pretty fucking insane. 200. And now like below 80 is like very average.
Yeah, you're fat now.
All right.
Sorry. You
Yeah.
you identify as somebody who's overweight.
All right. Number two.
Number two, well, if we keep this Whoop thing going, so
Yeah.
today I had a 76% recovery,
Oh, so
and
you didn't go out last night.
nah, bruv, got church, and then I ran 14 miles today.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So uh crushed it. It was good. Um, I'll show you my Strava loop. The Strava loop is kind of funny because it's just one big loop around all of Manhattan. Uh,
And it's 16 miles to loop Manhattan.
wait,
Back up.
come on.
Turn the blur off your camera.
Where? Okay. Background.
Bottom left. Just
Oh, video. Okay, there we go.
okay. Oh, dang. That's sick. 8.5 pace, 14.1. That's sweet.
So yeah, it was. I ran up to Central Park. I didn't run in Central Park, but along it, and then all the way down West Side Highway, Battery Park, up East Side Highway, and then I ran up Second Avenue. And my hamstring cramped 10 feet from my apartment. So I think it was the longest run I've ever been on.
Oh
And,
shit.
and I think it was legitimately the most I could have run.
What's your
I mean, I could have run more,
what's your
but
strain for the day? You gotta be above 20.
no, 19-1.
Okay. Dang, that's pretty good. I mean, that's a half marathon plus.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah, it was a great run. And I ran with one of my buddies. So he ran. I ran a mile and a half to him. He ran 10, and then I finished the last 2.5 miles. And my pace the last 2.5 miles when I didn't have him running with me was in the, I think both miles were in the nines. And even in that 10th mile, we were at like 7:30, 7:45. And as soon as he left, I hit a wall and I just struggled up. He ended at first and first. And so I ran 44 blocks by myself up Manhattan, and I was just struggling the entire way. So I just realized like how valuable it was to have someone running with me, and he kept my pace up when I was tired. I kept his pace up when he was tired, but the once he left, there was just no one else pushing me, and I mentally and physically was kind of at a wall. So uh,
Well, yeah,
it was a great.
that's that whole idea in nature. When you have two animals working together, you have twice the output. So here's an example: a Clydesdale horse are like the biggest horses in the world. They're used for pulling carriages. They're just gigantic horses, and alone one Clydesdale can pull 600 pounds, right? But two Clydesdales can pull 1,800 pounds together. So they can pull more than the sum of them individually, which is pretty cool. And I think that's kind of what you're referencing is you guys are able to have a greater output when you're working together.
Yeah, and it's greater output. You're chatting, running through New York. There's definitely some characters that you comment at, and you just kind of forget about what you're doing, and you're just out there hanging out with your buddy. So, I it was great running with him. It was his longest run and my longest run, so it was great. And I think I run most of the time with him, so I uh I usually run faster when I'm with him because I'm a little bit in better shape than him, and he knows that, and I think I need to make sure that he knows that. But so I push myself a little bit more when I'm with him, and we definitely push each other, which is really good. So that capped a, I believe that means I ran 30 miles this week.
Wow.
Yep. So I'm Monday night ran 7.5, then Tuesday morning 5, and then I had a quick one. I had two quick runs Wednesday, Thursday. I guess they were both 4 and 3 and 4, 4 and 4. But yeah, most running I've done ever in a week. So it was good. I only lifted twice or three times. Um, so lifting tomorrow, but good week.
Cool. Good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So topic number 3. Um, I got something unless you had a subject that you wanted to touch on.
No, I wanted to pull up my heart rate variability for the past 6 months because I think
Yeah. Do you have Whoop logged in on your computer? I'll give you sharing privileges.
I do not, but I can find it. I know my password and stuff. Let's dive in here. And based on looking at it every day, I think it's been uh going up a lot. Uh, and
All right, you're the co-host now.
okay, so mm, So here's my Whoop statistics, and uh, yeah, we can see here that resting. This is resting heart rate. It looks like it's gone from 48 to 43, like nothing crazy. Just these
45 is good.
I mean, these big spikes are not good, and then you see these craters here: Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, Sun, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday,
So this is 6 months. Dude,
Sunday.
I feel like you're all over the place. You're like your actual variability within heart rate variability is more dramatic.
It is. It's very interesting, and I think let's. Oh, we can't go sleep for. But
Yeah.
I get consistently. I guess it doesn't really say, but like it seems like it's right around 6.
Yeah.
Um, but wow, interesting. Um,
What do you think is the most valuable part of having a whoop?
I think for me, it's just like this recovery number, the all-encompassing recovery number. Uh, and usually for me, if I've had like a good past like 2 or 3 days, then I'm always going to be in the green. So it's a good metric of what I've how my habits have been, sleep performance, sleep consistency, uh, how active I've been. This is like it's like a 3-day lagging indicator of how healthy I am. We can go to strain too, 6 months.
Oh, interesting.
Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this, that's not doing anything. Max heart rate's the same, so that wasn't as
As
prolific.
as telling.
Yeah. Wow.
So you think it's and do you change what your workout will be based on how you recover?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think today I woke up feeling good. I had the green recovery and I knew I was going to punch it for the run. Uh, and like we can even go to 1 week. So I was in the yellow for the most of this week, which I'm usually not. Like we go to 1 month. Like, yeah, I mean, this was when my buddy left. So we had a good time Sunday, Saturday.
You recover pretty well. Like you'll go from like a 17% recovery back to like 90 right away.
Yeah, yeah, I think uh which which I guess is good. I know that the alcohol doesn't have like any lingering effects. Um, because I think most like this was like my worst week in a while. I think just I was working late and running more, so yeah, I mean this isn't good. Like there's way too many red recoveries in that. Bongo, bongo. Um, let's see,
All right, now
Jan-
I'm curious what
January 1, 25%. Yeah, so
how do you break it up to show the green, yellow, and red for recoveries?
I don't know. I just hit recovery 6 months, but I also like to sleep because that's one thing you can't control is when you go to bed. You can't always control the recovery aspect, but
Oh,
you can.
interesting. I wanna show my recovery after. But you
Okay, but you can recover. You can plan your. I really like. I can notice when I get 80, 90, 100% sleep. And my recovery usually reflects that. But
Here's
uh,
my 6 months recovery.
wow,
I pump greens I pump yellows too, and then spotty
spotty,
reds. But
spotty
I say I
reds.
do have like half the reds. If we're getting competitive, I probably have half as many reds as you do, especially in this 3 month window, or I guess in this however many months we got here. I didn't hit one red from really the middle of August until Halloween.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, Whoop's fascinating.
Yeah, I love it. I wonder. Let's see, membership. I wonder if there's how many days I've logged a recovery. Um,
And what we'll do for everyone listening, go to our YouTube channel, and if you want a free month of Whoop, click the link in our comments on this video, and we'll hook you up with a free month of Whoop. We get a free month too, so it's obviously advantageous for us. But if you guys want to try it out, the actual wearable is free. This is not a paid ad, nor do we take paid sponsorship. However, we do recommend the things that we use.
yeah, we do. We definitely do recommend this. Um, and I will also shamelessly say that I've tried to get a deal with Whoop multiple times, and they've shut me down every single time. I tried. I said, "Hey, you guys don't do a lot of baseball stuff, but I've been wearing Whoop since March of 2020, and they uh, they said that they aren't in that market. So I'm disappointed. Uh,
It's because the guy's a Harvard grad.
yeah, he's a Harvard squash guy, and they're in Boston. They're not giving some Yale New Yorker anything. He's a Yankees fan and he went to Yale. Like this is the antichrist for Whoop.
Yeah, that's
Look at
hilarious.
all these red recoveries he gets. There's no way we're giving him anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's definitely cool to look at. I don't always look at that, but they come, and I don't really use the journal feature. But
It's pretty obvious where like the journal is like, yes, alcohol negatively impacts your sleep. Like you don't need a journal to tell you that, you know.
yeah, but there's some other things like water and screen time. You can see how much it impacts your sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, well, cool. I think this was a nice deep dive into our bodies.
Yeah, you guys now have full access to how
Yeah,
the Erickson brothers function.
function. So, long story short, Jeff is fat and out of shape, and I've always been fat and out of shape. So,
Long story short, I'm fat and Matt drinks a lot of alcohol.
yeah, here we are on this fitness Christian podcast. But hey,
Hey,
that's what we're all about. Full transparency here.
yeah.
And
So you'll know when we do say things about our lives, you know we are coming from a place of honesty and we're
yep,
not holding anything back.
yeah. So, Jeff, how are you investing your time and money this week?
Um, yeah, good question. So obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning of the pod, that I'm going to Texas
Mhm.
for my grandpa, right? It's taking 2 days. It's probably the busiest Monday I've ever had in the business. Coming off the busiest week I've ever had in my business, right? So last week I wrote more business and I had more expansion of my team than I did in January, February, and the first 2 weeks of March. I did last week, right? So like pretty big, like super, super cool explosion. A lot of things that are going really well. As to say this first part of the week is really important. And I'm taking Tuesday and Wednesday. I've completely blocked out my schedule to go to Texas. And as I was making the decision, I was like, wow, what would my 85-year-old self want? And then I was like, what would I want my grandson to do if the roles were switched? And
Yeah.
that's the lens I looked at it through. I was like, wow, if the roles were switched, I would want him to come. So that's how I'm investing my time. Is I'm investing my time both into my relationships, but also I think in my future self, because I think what goes around will come around. And I believe in the law of reciprocity, to where what you do, the good deeds you put out in the world will come back for you. And I think in some way, shape, or form, somebody will take time out of their schedule to help me when logically it wouldn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'd say.
Well, also some of the things that you do in your everyday job, we all do in our everyday job. It can wait.
Yeah, no, it's not like I wouldn't be able to get it done if I don't get it Tuesday or Wednesday, or I mean, yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's just I push it off 2 days, which is like isn't that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Not going to make a difference in 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But that's how I'm investing my time, and that's how I'm investing my money as well, because it is going out there. Our parents bought the ticket, so shout out Sue for comping the flight. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing with my week, and that's kind of the lens I see it through.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Gotcha.
you? How are you investing your time and your money this week?
Time, I think I've got to start studying for the last test. So that's coming up in 3 weeks. So gonna crack that baby open coming up here. Uh so that'll be a time thing along with work. And work's been good. It's been appropriate. Uh, like it's working hard, working a lot, but nothing crazy. So focusing on that. Um, money wise, it's been good, saving a lot, and we'll we'll see if I can make some medium term investments for uh just a little bit of return instead of the savings account. So we'll see what the week brings. Maybe buy I actually looked into New York City municipal bonds because they are tax advantaged and they return a good amount,
And
especially
they're liquid, right? Like in and out pretty fast.
they do trade and they give you quarterly dividends. So we'll see we'll see what happens with that. But I think it'd be pretty fun to buy a New York City bond. Um, and hey, I'm supporting my local community.
Well, I mean, you're billionaires buy New York City muni bonds. You know, like
You.
billionaires that run hedge funds buy muni bonds. So it's like you're increasing your associations by doing the things that they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I got. I was like, hey, you buy muni bonds? I buy muni bonds. We have so much in common.
we have we are going to be equally as wealthy
This
because
is crazy. Uh, so yeah, just uh, that's that's what I'm doing. So I think that calls it for our pod this week, and we'll catch you next time here at EBP.
peace out from San Diego.
Smell ya.